Hi there, it's Quinn with VEDJ. Vlog every day in June for PTSD while black. Um, Sorry, I didn't post a video yesterday. It was hot, AC went off, and I wasn't about to turn on lights. um, so, I had speech therapy today, and we've been practicing when I'm caught in having more of a stutter. We've been practicing kind of having I'm sorry, I'm not as good with the terms, like an easy onset, is that the word? Whatever, where I start with an exhale and then finish the sentence, so that kind of having that breathy voice. And today we talked about, because I struggle with words that start with R and W and F. Um, and those are words which the tongue, I guess I guess I have to pay more attention to how I'm positioning my tongue, and blocking airflow, because yeah, that the lack of movement of air is what is most likely to start the stutter for me. So being aware of it, and ST is another sound I have trouble with. And so she wants me to practice pretending I'm putting an H in front of the R's, the W's, and the F's sounds. And it seems to, um, it seems to, from a speech point of view, like doing competitive public speaking and all that crap, um, it sounds to my ear like it's a lazier, not as crisp sound. Um, it sounds more slurred to me. But hey, if it stops me from stuttering, then okay. Um, so, for example, you remember that episode of Family Guy where Stewie and Brian are talking, and Stewie says, "Cool whip, cool whip." Basically, that's how I'm going to be saying all of my W's, but with an H in front of it. Instead of emphasizing the whip, whip, it becomes whip, whip. Um, yeah. So when I'm having more of a challenge speaking during the day, to be putting those H's there. The other thing that we're doing is I am singing after, because I practice stuttering for about 5 minutes each day. And I try to do it like 5 minute chunks, because 3 minutes in and I'm frustrated. But once I've done the stuttering exercise, or if I get too anxious from doing it, I go into singing, and the singing seems to reset, especially if the song is 2 minutes or more. It seems to reset the speech pattern. So, just thinking of the sentence, we went walking in the freezing rain. We went walking in the freezing rain. I'm practicing putting the kind of a slight H sound instead of a hard. We went walking in the freezing rain. It's not as hard of a consonant sounds to me. So yeah, we're doing that. And then the other thing that we had to do is I had to call a restaurant and ask them about having a conversation, basically, about planning for a party, and asking about their specials and if they have a special room and stuff like that, because we're trying to see like what types of social situations, or what types of situations am I more likely to stutter in. And I tend to know that my social anxiety disorder, when it kicks in and I'm embarrassed to have someone hear me stutter, that my speech will be more on point than when I'm relaxed and talking to family and friends, Um, Especially my mom, or I have a friend who has synesthesia, um, who sees colors when he hears sounds, and so his voice is kind of sing-songy, sing-songy. And I, I, we've known each other for a long time, so it's people who have known me for a long time and have always known me to be more coherent with my speech, that I'm more afraid of them knowing that I'm having struggles. Um, yeah. And the funny thing is with my mom, she has had challenges pronouncing words, or um, yeah, getting the right word out or pronouncing it correctly since I was a kid. And that's because she had a stroke at birth. And also, I think when I was 11, she had a stroke. So these things being present, I was always correcting my mom's speech, and I've always watched everyone else correcting my mom's speech. And so I learned in therapy, speech therapy today, about how critical I am of myself having a stutter, not speaking properly or correctly. It's because that's what I've witnessed of how, with my family of origin, we treated someone who spoke differently. Um, and I have that fear, I have that embarrassment that, oh dear, I have to be corrected too. So it's really humbling for me. um it's really humbling for me to look at how I treated my mother, and like, look, the universe is just beautiful and amazing that now we have the similar thing in common. um and it's funny because I have the concussion, which causes me to forget what I'm saying or how to pronounce something or what a word is, a specific word is. And then I also have the stutter, which will make what comes out sound interrupted or chopped. Um, so I've got both of those that I'm paddling with, and so I can really relate to what my mom has gone through for all of her life. She's 65, I think, this year. She's 65. So she's really spent so much of her life having these challenges. So that just really reinforces for me, I'm going through this at 36, as to how brilliant my mom really is, how strong of a person she really is, that in spite of the limitations that everyone placed upon her, that she was still able to thrive. And I kind of laugh because there are some people that I know who never graduated high school, let alone went to college, um, who would look down on someone like my mother. And yet my mom didn't go to college. She did graduate high school, and she did do her certification to become a nurse, um, so that she could advance herself. And I still look at how far ahead she is from some people who chose to not even go there or to not even do that. So yeah, I'm like, I got a little bit more appreciation for my mom in today's session, and so talking about it here in this space also gives me the opportunity to look at this, when to actually be able to have that heart to heart with mom, to talk to her about this, and to be able to tell her how proud I am of her, um, for the stuff she's overcome. Even though that she has challenges in other areas, there's a whole lot she's had to overcome. I've had to say this to my friend with synesthesia too. I remember telling him when I first met him, I'm like, you're so freaking brilliant. Do you realize how brilliant you are? That you're so creative and you're so talented, and that you're able to speak, to speak creatively, and you write books, and you're a filmmaker. You're doing all these things despite having what would be, for most people, a challenge with visually seeing a color every time you hear a sound. That's wild. So, yeah, it's just, I guess having this condition has really helped me to feel like that I could really affirm those in my life who've um, overcome challenges. I guess that's the word of really how brilliant you fucking are, how amazing you are. If you're watching this and you have a stutter, um, or if you've had to overcome some sort of limiting ability, just pat yourself on the back, and the fact that you are still able to be motherfucking you and do all the things that you can motherfucking do, despite having that ability, that type of ability in your life. We're amazing, and I wish that we spent more time patting ourselves on the shoulder about, yeah, I did this and I made it, than choosing to be limited by what society says, when society doesn't even have to overcome any of this shit. All right. Yeah, I know. Went into cussing. Whatever. Till next time. Peace.